Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my review for Fairy Tail Chapter 376. And this one, it started off with Natsu's group, Natsu, Lucy, Fran, Malv, it started off with those guys, but nothing really happened in that scene, so I'm not really going to talk about it. I'm going to focus this entire review on Wendy, because that essentially is what the entire chapter was about, Wendy. Alright, we see her walking through that Poison Valley, whatever place, whatever it's called, doesn't really matter. And she mentions the air being sweet, I'm like, okay, alright, whatever. It doesn't really mean that much. It's just used for comedy, because there was that funny scene where uh, the bugs fell down on Wendy. That was funny. I love the way Hiro Mashima draws Wendy when it comes to like gag scenes like that. The facial expression she has is just hilarious. She's like the perfect lolly. She's adorable when you need her to be adorable, but when you need her to fight, she can act and be serious. She can fight and be serious, as shown in this chapter. So I don't know why people hate on Wendy so much. She's not bad at all. All right, but while Wendy's doing all that stuff with the bugs and everything, Ezra actually sees that, so he comes down and attacks. And at first, Wendy was thinking, I can't afford to waste any time with this guy. I need to find Face as soon as possible. So she tries to run, but she just can't lose the guy. He just keeps following her and attacking her, and she has to fight back. So she does all these enchantments and boosts. She had God's Crown, God's Knight, attack doubling, defense doubling, speed doubling. She used all these spells on herself, which probably is not exactly easy. I'm sure it's difficult to use all those spells, and I'm sure it's added stress on her body to use all those spells on her own body. It's like push up all of her base stats and stuff like that. But she ends up doing it, and then she uses this powerful Sky Dragon's Roar. When it hits Ezo head on, but it doesn't affect him at all. I'm like, oh, all right, wow. Then she used Sky Dragon talents out of nowhere, foot to the face. Right, that didn't affect him either. Right, that's when Ezra starts going on the offensive. All of his attacks are named after swords. So we'll take like his arms. He has four of them, I think. He takes his arms. So we'll do like this cross motion, and it just pierces through everything. It's like he cuts through the air. He cuts through whatever's in front of him. It's like he just shoots a bunch of Getsu Tenshas, except for it's all air pressure, pretty much. And it's just boom. All right. And Wendy managed to dodge the first one, but the second one she ends up getting hit by, because Ezo used one of his tentacle leg things to hit her right before he used the sword technique thing. I think that one was Uzumaru. First one was Onimaru, I think. And Wendy gets hit by it. Alright? And she mentions something that caught my eye, is that she mentioned that her resistances didn't hold up, and she didn't know why. I thought, maybe that might hint at some other ability that Ezo has that might come up next chapter or so, because unlike Bleach, Fairy Tail, well, actually it does do this sometimes, but right now it's not going to do it. All right, right now Bleach is like Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail isn't like Bleach. It's not going to be like all of a sudden one power up, now you can defeat the enemy in like 1 or 2 hits. All right, Fairy Tail hasn't done that in a while. Even with Jackal, it wasn't like that. Like he fought back a few more times before losing. But yeah, enough about Bleach. She gets hit by that sword by Uzumaru. She gets forced through the walls, and she ends up landing where Face is. And Ezo comes out, and he starts talking about Face, about the Eternano that's radiating around it. And you hear that, you're not really thinking anything of it. I mean, after all, it's just your typical Fairy Tail magic jargon. And then Charlotte comes out, and she tries to protect her, and Ezo decides, "No, what, I'm going to eat you." And that's not going to happen. So that something's going to happen where Wendy is able to prevent that. And then it happens. All right, Charlotte says the air. All right, Wendy starts thinking of the sweet air that was mentioned before, the air that's radiating with Eternano. And the line that did it for me was, she said, "I could like not to," and I'm thinking, no way. No way, not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And I turned a couple pages, and then it happened. She activated Dragon Force. Yeah, that was epic. That was just, even when I thought it was gonna happen, I still didn't think it was gonna happen. Wendy with Dragon Force. It's just it was awesome. I mean, the chapter was awesome. I mean, it's he was able to build up to this moment without letting us realize he was building up to this moment. And then the moment itself was awesome too, because it's just like Charles said, Wendy used to be this coward. When she was introduced back in the Horacio Caesar arc, she barely even talked. She was shy just being around all the others. And now she's gotten to the point where she's activating Dragon Force and stepping up to one of the demons in Zaref's book. It's character progression at its finest, and it's like it was awesome. It was just awesome to see. So I'll do the chapter 10 out of 10. I honestly thought it was awesome the way because I gave Naruto a 9.5 this week, and I started thinking, was this chapter really better than Naruto's? And I was thinking about it. I'm thinking, well, like I said earlier, with Fairy Tail, Hiro Mashima, he built up to this without letting us know he was building up to it. But with Naruto, he let us know that he was building up to it. A lot of people didn't realize it because they don't like to think when it comes to Naruto. They just assume that everything you can take at face value, which is stupid because that Naruto is just out of all the big three manga, Naruto's one where you actually do have to think the most because Masashi Kishimoto does do things like that a lot with symbolism and things like that. But if you actually paid attention, like if you watched my review of it, then you would know that he was building up to that moment, and it wasn't exactly. He was telling you he was going to have something like that happen. So even when it did happen, it was awesome, but still not a surprise. So with here, it was awesome and it was a surprise. So yeah, I think they're kind of they're. I mean, it's not like I gave Naruto that much lower than I gave it a 9.5, but still, I think like this chapter, I think it does deserve a 10 out of 10. His hero was able to give us a moment like this without letting us know he was going to give it to us. So, yeah, I'll give this chapter Fairy Tail a 10 out of 10, and that's it. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.